This whole interaction hurt my soul. I'm not gonna lie. Shall we do Furina's quest? Oh, I love this. I don't think I've ever seen this little pop-up happen on screen. The little Oceanid. That's really cute. That's really cute. Go to the Fort of Fontaine's Adventurers Guild. One day, you and Paimon arrive at the Adventurers Guild to check out the commissions there.
Hey, Catherine, it's us. Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps?
We're so poor, I guess. The more lucrative, the better, or you didn't have to be so direct.
Paimon's just being enthusiastic. We're old friends now, she gets it.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see. Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open.
Oh.
Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
Aww. So no Mora?
Don't worry about that. We were just kidding. So what's the situation?
To put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their musical.
Hey, yo?
The original cast member ran into some issues and is currently unable to perform the role.
We're doing casting out here? Where's your IMBD? Where's your backstage pass? Like, y'all don't have background actors? There's gotta be another actor. Why they put a commission? That's so weird.
But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial difficulties, so unfortunately they cannot afford to pay the replacement actress.
Huh? I'm sorry, SAG would have a fit. SAG would have a fit. I'm sorry. That's how you immediately go, we are, like, pay your actors, guys. Just pay your actors. Pay your actors, your artists, everything. Just pay the people that do work for you.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically they're looking for a volunteer?
A volunteer
That's right.
actor?
Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing to take the job.
Maybe because you're not paying them, like, it's genuinely just like, oh, we need to hire for someone's labor, but we're not gonna give them anything in return. Like, I'm sorry, someone's doing something for you. Pay them, please.
There are only a few days left until the performance. If they can't find someone in time, they'll probably have to postpone the show. And delays tend to create all sorts of new problems.
So delay the show and then get a new actress. Like, pay the person you're doing to perform. Ah, okay.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What do you think, Traveler? Any ideas?
And to get the people to pay for your show. My God, just pay your actors, please.
Even if we took the commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
Very true. No, well, listen. I can do a musical, specifically as tech, but not for acting. So, I can do it. I can do it.
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there.
Okay.
Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution. Maybe there's something he hasn't thought of.
Here's the solution. Pay your actress.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
Got it. We'll go talk to him.
Paimon approves, let's go! Hello there, are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two. Are you really willing to act in my musical?
I would like you to pay us, but also, like, why? What happened with the musical?
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
Ah, I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot.
Yeah, because you should pay your actors.
If we can't find someone to step in, we'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame.
Can't you cover the budget for a new actress with ticket fees? Yeah, but then they'd be in the red. I mean, putting on a musical is already, like, a drain of money, and it's very rare that musicals actually recoup the amount of money they spent on producing the show. Unless they, like, run for years, which is very rare. So that is not a thing that they can do.
That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts. All our sets and props are very crude. We're grateful enough just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees. If we had a way to make this profitable, things might have turned out differently. But now, it looks inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
Oh, I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah, this is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe.
Well, that's kind of upsetting, but also pay your actors, like...
One last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note. Nobody wants things to just fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it.
Catherine mentioned that one of your actresses can't make it?
Yeah, the leading lady, in fact. She's been dealing with a chronic illness ever since childhood, and unfortunately, it flared up again recently. It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform.
Damn, that sucks.
The show just won't be the same without her. But for everyone else's sake, I still hope we can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
Man's telling his life story and Eve's just like, but pay your actors. No, literally, if you're getting a replacement actor, pay your actors, like, straight up.
Got it. We have a clearer picture now. Let's see if we can come up with any ideas.
Take that Superwoman to Subaru right now? I mean, I'm sure Tignari can definitely help her with that. Or at least alleviate some symptoms.
What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you carrying?
I have 2 pennies. Does that count?
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor. And I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
Mora isn't the biggest problem, or how do we find someone who's a good fit for the role? I feel like finding an actor who's willing to volunteer, I guess, is the only solution at this point.
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show. We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What about... you know who?
But also, wouldn't people be really mad that Furina, you know, pretended to be the Archon and then, you know... I feel like that would cause way more controversy, but that would also bring people out to the show. People do that in theater, so maybe, who knows?
That's how you know we're the best of partners. Anyway, she should have all the free time in the world right now. She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
People don't know that she was playing the role, though. I mean, doesn't it... Wouldn't it have been revealed because the oratress was just like, nah, it's fake, right? Right?
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous.
Furina.
Her? You're... That was a joke, right?
See?
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
Her whole stick was just acting, so I think it would be fine.
You're not wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before.
Huh?
They were one of the reasons she was so popular. But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner.
What? Wait, so they don't... They say this in the quest... They still think she's the Archon? Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, but the Oratress would have proven that she's not the Archon because she's guilty of not being the Archon, and then they sentenced the Archon to, you know, the death sentence. So suddenly, if Furina's here and she isn't sentenced by death sentence, then wouldn't that just mean she's not the Archon? Like, from a people's perspective, it wouldn't make sense. They weren't dissolved, so the people of Fontaine think the prophecy was wrong. Okay, that is fair. So maybe, like, because people thought the prophecy was wrong, they were just like, oh, I guess she's still, like, the Archon or something. They only know that she didn't die, and they know she's the Archon, but she knows she wasn't, that she was playing the Archon role. Okay. I don't know. That's still confusing to me.
She's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours.
Are you prepared to do whatever it takes?
Well, yes, but... Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in our show. I'm sure the rest of the troupe would be delighted too. I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one day.
I mean, who is she? Like Patti LuPone in this context? Like Leah Salonga? I'm gonna name other actresses and stuff. And I forgot all of them because my brain's dead.
Of course, it all depends on whether she's interested. She might consider this opportunity beneath her.
No point in stressing about that. We'll only know if we ask her.
That's true, we gotta ask.
And besides, things are different now. There's no reason for her to be all high and mighty anymore.
Let's go. It'll be good to check in on her anyway.
Thank you for your help. I guess I'll just stay here and wait for the good news. Good luck.
Wait, where does Furina actually live now?
We don't even know where she
She's still in
lives!
luxury at the Palais Mermonia, but she's, moved out, right?
Yeah, she moved out. We don't know where she is. Well, Nuvolette might know.
As it happens, I have her current address here.
Why do you
I can
just
provide it
have
to
that? Why do you just have that? And why are you just giving out people's random address to other people? Catherine!
Woo! When did you get here?
She's literally two steps away. Like, my guy.
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the ready in case my assistance is needed. It is my duty to support commissioners in any way I can.
Thanks, Catherine, but also I don't like the fact that you have a database of where people live.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, now that we've got the address, we'll go find Furina. Back in a jiffy.
Okay, I guess we're gonna go find Furina in the wild or something. Oh, it is so weird that Catherine is just standing here.
I can't believe they're seriously asking Lady Furina. Seems a little over the top.
Try not to worry. May I pour you a glass of water?
Not the may I pour you a glass of water, okay.
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here? Not that there's anything wrong with this place. It's just, a bit of a step down from the Palais Mermonia.
My guy, she wants to be she wants to be out of the limelight. She's no longer, pretending to be the Archon, so...
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Ah!
Yeah, she's kind of right.
Okay, when did popping out of thin air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags.
Bro's making mac and cheese, and can no one stop her?
I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
Don't you get sick of macaroni every day, Aether? What if she was just picking out macaroni? Maybe she wasn't eating it every day. Just relax, okay?
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
Bolognese is also a tomato-based sauce, but I guess.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
What? Wait, why'd they write them like this? Hello? Why? We're trying to ask her for a favor, and suddenly we're just all up in her grill. Like, bro, chill out. That voice, she sounds sad. I mean, it's her non-performing voice. It's like her regular speaking voice. Like, it makes sense. Remember how I made that analogy to, like, streamers and, like, to Furina? Like, the Archon quest? It's very much like if you're not performing, your energy is so much lower. Like, if you guys ever met me in person, I'm really quiet. Like, I'm actually really, really quiet. I'm so much less talkative, IRL. So it's kind of just like, whether or not you're performing and, like, talking to other people versus, like, just being by yourself and chilling, Is it because you have to do all your own cooking now?
How rude.
Yeah, literally.
Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity.
Literally, she is not Raiden.
It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too.
That's fair.
Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre focilor or blubber profiteroles in no time if I felt so inclined.
I'm not even gonna ask what blubber profiteroles even is.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Huh? Just because she can't cook the complicated dishes doesn't mean she doesn't know how to cook, okay? Like, relax.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace. Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoo!
Sorry! We're sorry! Please don't be mad!
Bro, she's gonna be mad because you roasted her as soon as you saw her. And for what? For what? Okay. Paimon was just showcasing concern for your well-being? That's a weird way to show it.
Yeah, exactly! What the Traveler said! Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you.
You've been so mean like this entire section, Paimon. Like, I get it, you want to ask the questions that you don't want to ask, but I feel like this conversation would have been better between two people that were already friends. You barely met Furina, and the last time we met Furina, you betrayed her trust, okay? I think Paimon's doing some friendly poking. Okay, it would be friendlier if, like, they were actually closer, but because of, like, the whole situation between Furina and the Traveler, I don't think it's been friendly poking. You know?
Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
That's not important. We actually came here to ask you for help after, you know, berating you.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
If not you, then no one. You're the only person for this job.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude just now.
Nah, rip into that. They were being so mean to you, and for what? Literally? Stop being a doormat, okay? You deserve to not be treated like this when people are asking you for your help and they still berate you for no reason? That's cap. That's so cap, okay?
So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so specific?
You tell Furina about the troop's plans for its final performance.
I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense.
That's kind of sad. Just like, oh, you guys wouldn't visit me unless you needed something from me. That's so sad. That's so upsetting.
After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various performing arts. A mere musical is well within my capabilities. But given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your casting request.
That's fine.
How come? It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
Maybe she doesn't want to do it, bro.
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Like, I get it. This is hitting a little too close to home for me because I was also at a point where I retired from performing and then people still asked me to perform. So this hurts on a different level. Can I say as much as I hated Paimon, I like Furina's? Because I really like Furina and I like that we're getting to see more of her character.
Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me. Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
So that's how you really feel. That's fine.
Paimon can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Girl, she doesn't want to act. Just leave her alone. If she said no, she said no. No, it means no, my guy.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross.
Fair.
If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
That's fine. Let's find someone else then.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare. Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
I mean, she's not very well connected with theater, I'm assuming, right? I mean, she does perform, but it doesn't mean you're, like, connected to the theater scene.
Short and to the point. Okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me.
This hurts me in more ways that you can possibly know. Poor Furina, baby.
Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help.
You shouldn't assume the worst of people, or what's wrong with making one exception. I mean, I wouldn't assume the worst of people, but both of these options kind of suck.
True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Oh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it. Nope, not happening.
Yep, that's fair. We accepted the commission. It should be us to do it.
Is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I thought I had the answer to this problem, I would have said so by now.
Yeah, like, we should believe Furina. We shouldn't stop. Why are they going into this? And for what?
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed.
Let's try to come up with a plan B.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Furina.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
This whole interaction hurt my soul. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This whole interaction hurt me.
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
Oop.
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Oop. Theater drama.
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform.
Oh, then it's problem solved.
Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Ooh, that's true. Imagine if we managed to convince Furina to join only for her to find out she's no longer leaded. That would have hurt.
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
Only joking. Calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you. So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
And you don't think she's also trying to make sure that everything's going ahead? Like, come on. I get it. As like a stage manager, you want to be like, okay, are you sure you're able to do this? But at the same time, just like, you don't think she's trying to put in that effort too? Like,
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
oh, Paimon, wait here a second.
Sure.
Oh, are we just walking off? I didn't like that side turn from Paimon. Her eyes were open the entire time. There was no blinking, and it was such a weird head turn. Furina, hi. What are you doing?
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list.
Not her wanting the tea about this theater show. I get it, girl.
All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me. Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned, that's all.
Not the concern. I mean, she would want the tea about this theater troupe, though. I would too.
When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down.
You were justified in reacting that way. We were being so mean to you. Like, hello?
I'm sorry, Paimon.
No, don't say sorry to
I
Paimon.
didn't take any of that personally.
Don't say sorry to Paimon. She was being mean. We were both being mean to you. Like, you don't need to apologize for us being terrible to you. Like, you need to kick Traveler's butt. No, literally. Like, we were being so mean. For what? We come out of nowhere, basically asking her for a favor, but then also roasting her? And the fact that she can't, like, she hasn't been able to cook the food that she wants to? Like, there was no reason for her to apologize for this. Why didn't you just show yourself?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you?
Yes, apparently I do, because that's all I can do in this quest.
I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
Furina being a true theater kid? This is also chat's fault they voted this quest to do. I guess so. Chat targeted me, and this is not fair.
There's no need to think like that. And no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband?
That is true. Why does it have to disband?
If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in the serial disappearances case.
Oh, wait. We're going back to the serial disappearances case?
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater.
Ow, that hurts.
She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us.
Damn, multi-talented.
People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray.
Yeah, the main leading person who directed everyone disappeared. That kind of oof. Oof.
None of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but surely falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, that's someone who was ahead of, like, in charge of everything and then suddenly disappears. That hurts, bro.
It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Oh.
That's really sad.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Hey, yo, she gonna do something?
Furina.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement anyway.
Well, what does she want to do then?
I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member.
Oh, okay. So she wants to help, which is really nice.
But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guidance that you can give.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director.
Furina just wants stories, and you know what? I'm here for that.
Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high.
Yeah, because you were in your own little bubble, and now that you're amongst the commoners, like, of course you're going to see different things. I'm curious how much the public knows about what went down. So they know she's not the Hydro Archon, but at the same time, they still hold her to high regard, and I don't think they don't know about Focalors at all. Only Nuvi knows about Focalors, and we know about Focalor. And then we know that Furina was acting the whole time, basically.
The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
A verdict can bring emotional catharsis. They come pouring out and flow away into infinity.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Not them saying par exemple instead of for example, okay? What's with the French? Besides being in France.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh?
Let her live, Paimon.
You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
Relax, Paimon. Some of us are just dramatic even though we're not performing anymore, okay?
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
Literally.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
If the shoe fits, Paimon.
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Since it's you, I'll do it. Hey, yo! Aether Riz! Aether Riz, especially since it's related to serial disappearances case. Okay, but since it's you, I'll do it.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. Alright, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the size. It's a little on the smaller side.
Oh, this is not a bad stage. It's like a jazz club kind of thing.
Huh? Lady Furina?
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant.
I just realized, is The Little Oceanid a play on the words The Little Mermaid? Is that what it is? Because I love that.
These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
You bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
And also, maybe die of allergies because there are so many dust particles in here.
So, you were saying The Little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Finding an actress was the least of your problems.
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's all about. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family.
Oh, so up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun.
She longed to live just like any other human. And sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect.
Da 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 da. Wish I could be part of that world. That's literally The Little Mermaid.
But one day, her true identity was exposed, and her world came crashing down around her.
Oh, wait, I don't think The Little Mermaid got exposed like that, though.
So far, so good. A classic tale. What happened after that?
Does she turn into steam foam or nah?
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which direction to take it in.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
Okay, so either we go Disney route where she ends up with the dude, or the Grimm's brother route where she turns into sea foam. Okay.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Oh god, we're going the Grimm route. I just realized, cause ooh, because she dissolves into sea foam just like how the director dissolved into water. This hurts me.
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
I mean, I think you should do that. As someone who is a part of theater, if you're not expressing, like, okay, theater can be both entertaining and also true to life. And you can combine the both if you really wanted to. So it's up to you what you want to do. Like, do you want to tell a true story, or do you just want to have haha fun times? Like, there's always some, you're going to give up always one more than the other. I'm going to put my example of Hamilton here. Hamilton was based on the historical events of Alexander Hamilton, but it is heavily fictionized. Lin-Manuel Miranda got his information from a book that basically kind of romanticized Alexander Hamilton's life, so it's not actually American history. It's very much revisionist history. Like, if you guys didn't know some of the history behind it, the Schuyler sisters, when it would have taken place in Hamilton, Angelica Schuyler would have already been married. There was no love triangle that should have happened. Angelica was already married to the man in England. Also, the Schuyler sisters weren't the only sisters. They had brothers, okay? But they didn't fit well into the narrative, so that's why it got rewritten and stuff, so that it would fit much better in the form of the story. And I think as a story, Hamilton is good. Don't get me wrong. I really, really like Hamilton, but you can't claim it as actual historical fiction. So in that sense, you would either be giving up a lot of the actual historical facts to make it into a stage play for more entertainment, versus actually having a ton of history, but making it less entertaining. So that's up to a director or a writer to decide. It sucks as history, but it's a good story. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I can never agree with people saying like, oh, these theater shows are like, you know, actual history, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's still going to be fantasticized because one, if you push things on Broadway, you have to change it to where it makes money. Because you're going to be losing a ton of money if you go on Broadway. Honestly, if you want more like things that are closer to history, I'd say go to off-Broadway, smaller productions. If you just want to have a fun time, go to actual Broadway. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are really, really fun shows on off-Broadway, but like you're gonna get more of the history, more like hard-hitting stuff in off-Broadway theater.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotional stake in this, not just our own. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from two of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed, and we still haven't heard from him. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since. So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a rallying cry for us.
That's kind of cute.
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role model.
That's really cute.
Oh, stop. You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way.
Oh. It's fair to romanticize things for a story, but like as an audience, you gotta be aware of what we're watching. Exactly.
I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending. He went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess it's the opposite. A friend in need and all that.
I mean, is he one of the people that died? Because that could also be a thing.
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson.
Oh, Furina does not want to go back. What do you mean is something wrong? She's still traumatized, my guy.
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
I haven't heard Allons-y since Doctor Who. I'm so happy.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Knock,
Who
knock.
is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
All right. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
Oh.
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too.
Navia! Oh, they got some beef. Oh, the way she said and Furina too. Ooh.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So, you're here for Palo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
You made arrangements for me? That's so nice of you.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll.
Oh, but don't be like, I'm going by.
Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
Oh? What do you mean how oblivious are you saying that they think they're roommates?
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point.
I love their dynamic. I want them to be friends and have tea together.
But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done. Which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe.
Yep, that's fair.
To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
That's actually really, really nice of her.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me.
She's so cute. I love her so much. She has like so much confidence and like she's such a breath of fresh air, I think.
Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
I will. Thank you, Navia.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
Which is not great considering we basically betrayed you in the Archon quest, but you know what? We can make amends. Things change, you know. Oh, the stairs hurt me.
I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to meet her. It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything. You can't get around the obstacles without facing them.
Yep.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah, because she would have to face the problem.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me, which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
I'm sure some people didn't buy Navia's lie because they're all looking at us right now.
Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful.
Yeah, because, like, people died, bro. Like, a lot of people died.
I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
So she has symptoms of paranoia, I guess.
I'm surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
Maybe you've taken on a bit too much in one go?
What do you mean by that? You expected me to just keep running and hiding from my responsibility forever?
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
They're not staying quiet either.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
It's actually heartbreaking that, like, people are just talking. Do we actually hear anything from them? No.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll, and here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
Maybe you need a rest and you need a break, okay?
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
I like seeing Furina as just Furina and not as the Hydra Archon, honestly. I like this version of her so much better. It's less... I don't know, it's less fake. That's like the closest thing I have. It's so much less fake.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet.
Oh, this is like an actual heart-to-heart, and I love to see this.
I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You're only doing your duty.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. Furina's by far my favorite Genshin character. I love how it's not just like, oh, it's just this one very 2D kind of character. It's very like, she's such a fleshed out character, and you can really see it in the writing. It's so good.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne.
So she's a perfectionist kid, I understand.
Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves.
I think she feels guilty because she didn't really play a role into trying to save the people. Or at least she doesn't think that her acting for 500 years doesn't play a role, when it does, because if anyone found out that she wasn't the Hydro Archon, they would have sentenced her to death versus the actual Hydro Archon and gotten rid of it, right?
Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
Oh, Furina!
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Think of your freedom as your reward, not as, I don't know, something else. She's minimizing her part, viewing her actions as inactions. Yeah, she did pretend. She played pretend for 500 years. That is doing something for your people, even though you did get betrayed by your people in the end.
A reward?
Because now you can finally speak your heart, and you don't have to be anguished and alone anymore. You have me, the Traveler, who's rizzing everyone up, I guess.
I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
This hurts me. Like, remember how I compared Furina to a social media, like, influencer? Okay. You guys have to accept being okay to make mistakes. Making mistakes is okay. You're allowed to make mistakes, even though there might be some mistakes you'll never recover from. But I think it's better to try, at least, to make those mistakes than never try at all. And if you f**k up, just accept it. Accept that you f**ked up and take responsibility for your actions. You can't keep running away forever.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today.
No, literally!
I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
What Paimon meant to say was she doesn't like to see you so down.
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands.
Yeah.
All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Sure. Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Hoyo knows they're writing them awfully in this quest, and I hate it. I think that's the point. I guess it's like dispel any thoughts from like people who don't like Furina. Like they're actually voicing their thoughts and like having Furina respond back to it, which is kind of shitty because I don't think at least Traveler would never say those things to her face like that. Especially because, I don't know, I feel like Aether's a little bit more emotionally intelligent than Paimon, at least.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Okay, but fish and chips is delicious, so...
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food.
Oh my god, I'm Lowick, like 100%.
Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good looking. That's your job.
Ah! That's f***ed up, my guy!
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Not Paimon politely telling them to shut the f*** up, like...
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Not the typecasting, not the size casting, which does happen in theater, but also not the size casting. Wow. That's f***ed up.
Sorry.
That's so fatphobic.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
Okay, but that's such bad typecasting. I'm so sorry.
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wow, this hurts a little bit too close to home for Furina.
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore.
What? That's so messed up. That's actually so messed up. So your family is ableist, I see. Like...
I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time.
I love that this shot is about him concerned. I shipped them together.
It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up. I know it was all a huge burden on her.
She sounds like a really incredible person.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer? My parents weren't around when I was little, so I got sent to an orphanage.
Lowy, you good? That sounds like some trauma!
The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew
That's
it.
so messed up! Oh my god.
One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore. So I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point. Thought the whole world was out to get me.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
He's so dramatic. And you know what? He is the true definition of a writer, but also I will fist fight him. Hi, Palau.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant, Miss Furina.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, disaster strikes.
This looks so Disney right now.
The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven by a consciousness of its own.
Isn't this a story? I've heard this story before, but it's not The Little Mermaid. It's, oh my god, it's a book. It's a book. The book is called Watership Down by Richard Adams. It's about like a group of rabbits who basically find out that, like, basically they don't realize why, like, the world is turning against them and, like, things are, like strange things are happening in their society and stuff like that. And then we find out, like, it's humans that are causing this. It's giving Watership Down.
Consciousness? You mean The water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret.
Ooh, okay.
The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover and the rest of humanity.
Okay, so it's a little bit of Beauty and the Beast, a little bit of the Brothers Grimm, Little Mermaid.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Sometimes people will view you as a villain, but you still want the best for them in humanity. And that's okay. Sometimes you have to accept that you are not going to be the hero in someone else's story. That at some point you're going to have to play the role of a villain. Sometimes you can't change people's minds like that. You would still want to do the best for them if you can. This hurts a little bit too close to home. I would like it to stop.
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love, one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
When's Eve's villain arc? What if I was already the villain? I'm a villain in several people's stories. It's just people will write a narrative about you that you can't control. Sometimes you do have to play the villain. And you know what? I'm willing to accept that villain role.
There's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible. What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
That sounds worse, I'm not gonna lie.
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me, and perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aurelie's death, both arbitrary and meaningless.
Yeah, but I don't think you should leave that ending of a story. Sounds like a happy ending to me. I don't like that ending, honestly.
On the day when she went missing, Director Aurelie had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in the serial disappearances case.
The director was the kindest soul in the world, yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her at all.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to safety.
That is true.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Paimon might know something, but he won't open up to me.
Maybe because of trauma.
Vilmont? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me.
People grieve in different ways, buddy.
Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aurelie.
Hey, what?
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she never considered us as potential romantic partners.
Ooh, okay.
Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her.
That's actually a really good way to take that.
I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Oh, Paulo.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by O'Reilly. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
Damn, he's a true artist.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Vilmont once and for all, face to face. We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go visit Vilmont.
Don't do the maybe one day you'll change your mind. I've been on the other end and that's uncomfortable. Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm like, once he said, like, I was okay with him being like, oh, I loved her. But, like, after it's like, maybe she would change her mind. No, relax. She made her decision. And if she decides to change her mind, then let her change her mind. It doesn't mean that she's going to date you. Like, relax. It's weird. Weird energy. Don't like it.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes.
How is that weird? Because it's kind of just like, I don't know, or at least someone who is raised AFAB, assigned female at birth. It's kind of just like trying to force you to accept, like, oh, you don't have a decision in this. Like, oh, you'll definitely change your mind into dating me at some day. It's like, it's kind of both narcissistic, but also like, it's basically not taking no for an answer, kind of.
Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y!
Allons-y! What does allons-y mean? It's basically just let's go in French.
This is tough going.
Oh, I missed all the dialogue. I'm so sorry. There's a chest that I need to get over there. Hello, slimes.
As if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Oh no, slimes, whatever shall we do?
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina in a fight before.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium. Miss Furina said so herself.
Precisely! And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more
Nara
like
appearing behind me.
A damsel in distress more than anything.
Okay, so Nufi, when are you gonna give her a vision, huh?
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
Ah, c'est la vie. This doesn't require god-level powers. Don't you know any self-defense?
C'est la vie indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I swoops in to save the day.
I'll protect you, Miss Furina. I'm still eye-rolling, okay?
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Furina.
I want to see fight mode Furina.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
It's okay. The entire world of Tevat weighs on my shoulders while I'm just trying to look for my sibling.
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Not Furina, poke them with a stick.
Bow your head.
Oh, well, I can't really use Nuvi in this context, so...
By royal
Come at me. Ah!
Sorry, Kave. Sorry, Kave. Sorry, Kave. You're gonna have to be the DPS in this situation. Because I can't do anything. Because Nuvi literally cannot do anything to the Hydro Slime. Hello? Kave? Kave buddy.
Hey, come at me.
Oh, I missed! Kave!
Oz, reveal thyself.
Please, stop giving me hydro things, because I will cry. I will physically... Oh my
Settle
god.
down.
I thought I was going to be okay with Nuvi in this party, and he cannot do anything because of everything that's going on.
Watch and learn. Sight clear.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to use Kave.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
I did this with Nuvi, it was so goofy. Listen, I wanted it to be accurate to the story, and now it's not letting me, okay?
Be sanctified.
Okay, at least you can do that. Pew pew, go go. Please kill him. Thank you.
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Thanks. I sure hope so.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
We vibing.
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
Delphi explains the whole sequence of events so far to Vilmon.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Vilma, avoiding the truth will not help anyone.
Was he there? Does he know what happened to her? Is that why he feels guilt that she was, like, he knew the information all along or something?
Unless you mean to suggest that Aureli's death had something to do with you.
Yeah! Were you
I don't
part
want
of
to
it?
talk about it.
Are you part of it?
Listen, Vimo. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one.
Oh, he's stupid. Anyway.
As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances.
Was it Fanta?
It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized...
It was Synth.
The drink in question was Synth.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
I remember that it induces a state of euphoria, and also it causes significant harm to the body. This is a terrible thing. This is terrible to read while in a ooh voice.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration.
And then they murked her. They murdered her in cold blood.
Was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
And then...
They murdered her in cold blood!
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
You brought the director to the attention of the shit sellers, and your mistake gave them a motive to kidnap and murder her.
Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
You murdered her!
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean you were afraid? This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her. How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered. She was the love of my life.
She rejected you, buddy.
And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director. What good is my apology now?
He's white. He's very white.
I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve.
Damn, Vilmont's voice actor is popping off right now. I'm not gonna lie.
End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Vilmont. He's white, as in the R, not W. Ow, you did this to me!
Get out of my sight. Go, get lost. I don't ever want to see your face again.
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe?
Oh my god!
You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters, to shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her, and that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
No, literally, y'all got a performance to go on, like...
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
It might actually be possible to find out more about her fate.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims. If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
I don't like that.
You really think that's possible?
I mean, it might be.
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now, and wait for our good news.
I guess we're opening back up the Vacher case again. That's unfortunate.
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed for quite a while now.
I love Sedine. I love Sedine so much.
Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on. I'll have someone dig them out.
Thank you, Sedine. Sedine messages the staff member to retrieve the box of Aurelie's former items.
This is all Aurelie left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook.
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage.
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. To whoever discovers this diary. Let's see. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions.
Wait, that's fucked.
She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women.
Ooh, okay. Also, hi, Umbreon. Welcome on in. How's it going?
If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vacher's guilt.
So why didn't we read it? That's another question.
Vacher took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims he had.
I guess Aurelie must have written all of this down in the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators.
And it didn't, because we still convicted him anyway, but without her book.
Wait, it cuts off.
Is something wrong?
Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left.
Oh! Aurelie's notes. Someone else was taken. That makes 6. Or perhaps a 7th? Someone tried to escape yesterday but was caught. She hasn't been seen since. Was that yesterday? Maybe not. I've long since lost track of time. Sorry. I don't know if writing this is of any use or how much longer I can do it for. I already see my fate approaching, but what terrifies me even more is the thought of seeing others in the troop here. Have I truly protected them? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't write no more. I think I have fever, and my old stomach troubles have returned, but no one has given me any medicine. I suppose I'm more fortunate than Crazy. The pain keeps her awake all at night. I suppose they think that anything goes as long as the experimental subjects can be used up before they die. It's so damp here. I've given her my blanket. So cold. So cold. So cold. As long as one persists, all things will pass. There will be a reward for hard work. I like to tell them such things, but it's I whom losing my grip. If anyone sees this, troop, safe, I, them, important, please, farewell, apologize, life, perform, future, regret, Cleo. This page was an absolute mess, and the writer's pen seems to have wandered its surface at random. Only some words can be made out, and barely at that. From this page onwards, the diary stops, to be replaced with lyrics from musicals. Some are in the form of newspaper clippings. Others are handwritten, with many crossed out and changes. The parent that the pages have been referenced often, and this was the personal notebook of artistic director Aurelie. That hurts. Vache! Vache! Absolutely Vache! Me and my homies all hate Vache. He was a messed up person. He did this to so many people. So mad. Anyway. It does show how amateurish we were as investigators. Like, imagine missing such crucial evidence. No, literally! Like, this could have literally condemned everything.
She was so terrified.
She watched a girl get dissolved right in front of her and had to wait for her own death in silence.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she was only human. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been. Wait. This part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
Flipping through the notebook, the lyrics continue. However, the one page has been torn out, folded up, and placed next to the blank page. At the bottom of the folded note are 2 lines Aurelie has written in the handwriting much more legible than before, but it seems like they took her both great effort and a great deal of time to write. If you become human, you can reveal your secrets to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want? Because I am an older sister to them. I love them.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this still what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the little Oceanid?
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troop would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love, and she truly deserved it. Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director Aurelie's final thoughts.
That hurts. That hurts. After reading through the notebook, some are lost for words, some weep bitterly, and some grind their teeth and howl with rage. A long time passes before the group is able to calmly come together and finally make a decision.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself. We know what choice our little Oceanid would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary. Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
I will channel all my regret and put it into my performance, to make this a show worthy of our director. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director Aurelie and her alone.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Who lives, who dies, who tells your story?
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals, I've learned one important thing. If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role, pouring all your emotion into your performance. And aren't human emotions, love, hate, regret, and hope, just the most mesmerizing things in this world?
She laughed as herself for the first time. Honestly, I'm glad. She's getting to be herself.
I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Miss Furina. And thank you for supporting us through all this.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a proposal. during the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
That's really sweet. It's a tribute. I'm gonna cry.
If you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage?
They have to perform it somewhere.
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclese.
She's so dramatic. She's gonna go talk to Nubia's like, I want to do a theater show. Thank you.
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine.
No, that's not what I meant.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Go big or go home.
I have no problem with it then. I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too.
Yeah.
Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Nerilette. I know just where to find him.
First Miss Furina, now the Opera Epiclese? If only the director was still with us.
Hey, come on. There's no point in dwelling on that now. We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you're right. Now's not the time to get all melancholy.
The theater room is really cute, not gonna lie. We never got to talk to Baran! I can't even talk to Baran. I'm so sad. Let me talk to the musicians and let me talk to your tech.
Best of luck to you.
During the final scene, maybe we should stop the music just before Cleo takes the stage?
Hey, look at that. Looks like I guessed right.
Wow, Newbie looking at Newbie.
You were just guessing.
Not that you were just guessing.
I knew you'd be here.
Not that I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, Traveler and Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
We need space for the theater.
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event. You see...
You share the story of the little Oceanid with Neuvillette along with the backstory.
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult.
Thank you, Neuvillette.
The story of the little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage. I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
Huh? What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Yes. And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and... well, here we are. In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life.
Oh, he's such a supportive dad. Oh, that's cute.
Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
Why would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if the little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire.
That is true.
The experiences and decisions of the protagonist Cleo are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
I love Nubile. He's such a supportive dad. We love father.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No exceptions. Nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well worth the price of admission. I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not.
Listen, we love our technical support. We love our house, okay? We love our musicians. We love our lighting. We love our runners. We love our deck, okay? Support people that are not just the actors on the stage.
I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Thanks, Nervalet.
You are very welcome.
Thanks, newbie. You see anything after, buddy?
Many people were once enthralled by Lady Furina's performances, myself included. I hope that one day she'll be able to understand that our appreciation was always sincere.
Aww, newbie. That's so cute. That's so cute. I'm gonna cry. This whole she's just coming into her being and growing into the full adult human that she should possibly be. She's finding herself, and I think that's really cute and that's really sweet. And
Good news, everyone. It's done. The Opera Epiclese is booked. Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Neuvillette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity, but we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a truly spectacular performance. A touching story, a magnificent venue, and last but not least, a passionate and dedicated cast. Now, let's work together and make this show the best it can be.
let the show begin.
This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiumali and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation?
Oh.
That's great!
Not her going, y'all had the actual conversation? That's crazy. Couldn't be me.
Communication is vital to any good performance.
That is true. If you don't have communication, it will fall flat.
Look at us. We've come so far. I never could have pictured this scene a few days ago.
It's amazing! Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama queen about it all, she's really fired everyone up!
I'm really looking forward to the final production.
Please feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
Hey, Loic, get over here. Time to practice the opening number.
Hey, yo, we're having a preview. Let's go. Aw, that's cute. I love that she's like the director kind of thing. It's really, really cute. Aww. Oh, they did give her a wig. Okay. Oh, the villain scene looks so cute.
Accursed Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
Hey, yo, the actor popping off here.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Dun dun dun.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
I just realized the fountain's made out of paper. It's really, really cute. That's such a cute design detail.
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a fine performance in a long time. If only...
What? Furina, you want to go on stage, buddy?
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage!
Is she okay?
Why? Why does it have to be now?
Uh-oh, looks like Furina's gonna have to step into the role even though she doesn't want to.
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage any second now. Oh no, not again. But why? What about your new meds? Did they stop working?
They've been getting less and less effective over time. I've had to keep increasing my dose.
What? I thought they cure it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
Oh no.
I figured whatever it took to get me through this final performance.
So you're on the highest dose? No, that's not good.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking after my health.
I'm sorry. I've let everyone down.
You... This is a conversation for another time. How can the show go on without its star performer?
Miss Furina, I'd like to make a request of you.
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask.
The show must go on. Oh, Furina, you really didn't need to. You don't have to. I feel bad because she was like so adamant about not going on stage. But like, I get it. If you were put in that position, I would have done the same thing. I would have also gone on stage if someone, like, if they needed a last minute thing. Like, straight up. I love Furina so much. She is just trying to do her best.
Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice register could take it. Why?
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale.
Oh my god.
From the sublime to the ridiculous. After all that, everything's come full circle.
At least she has been in the rehearsals so that she knows the songs.
Thank you, Miss Furina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in too deep. No one likes regrets, myself included.
Let's go, Furina. I love her so much. I love her characterization from when we first met her to now.
Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
Of course you have.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, this show is dedicated to the life and legacy of our director. What, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
It's her pure heart. Despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure, she never once stopped believing in the beauty in this world.
This hurts me. This hurts my heart. I love her.
Well said. I leave Director O'Reilly in your hands.
You got this, buddy. Go off on that stage. You got this. Let's go, Furina. Let's go. Pop off, Queen. Go. You got this. Take your breath. Get on that stage. Oh, look at that spotlight.
Is she here yet?
Ooh, very Beauty and the Beast. Okay.
She's not coming.
Into the woods, kinda?
She's here.
Oh, this cutscene is so pretty. This is beautiful. like a dragon.
Wish.
Oh, the violins. Yes!
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Oh, the choral beat part. What? That's how she gets her vision? Oh. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Bravo! Bravo! I'm gonna cry. It's beautiful. I want to see Nuvalet's reaction. Where is he? Bravo! Bravo!
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now?
She hasn't been seen for a while now, and she just appears out of nowhere? Gotta say, though, her acting skills are as superb as ever.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
We love our credits. We love our credits. Acknowledge your tech as well.
That's not her name. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully, not too many people recognized me.
She got the vision through jumping over her shadow and acting again. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Papa Judge, your child got a vision, right? Right?
It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for myself, even if I had no choice.
But you wanted to sacrifice yourself for humanity no matter what, so...
Still, I have to admit that, despite everything, it felt good to be back on the stage again.
Oh, this hurts me as a performer. This hurts me!
Finally! We would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Furina.
Hey, that's not what we agreed on.
Oh, so it was Furina after all.
She's back.
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
I mean, you deserve the credit, no matter what. That was beautiful.
All right, calm down. Don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
Yes, acknowledge your tech, acknowledge your house, acknowledge everyone that works behind the scenes, not just the actors. Thank you.
Yes, I know the rule, but it should still be applied on a case-by-case basis. I wasn't ready for this yet.
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
I love that now we can see the vision on her belt, and it's beautiful. And most, you might be asked to sign a few autographs later. Stage door time, let's go!
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
Fine, I'll do it. Come on!
This is a great chat and all, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack. Paimon flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
Oh, that. I've got no idea what happened there either. But hey, it worked pretty well, didn't it? I'll bet the audience has never seen such a realistic prop.
Wow, wow, wow. Nuvolet is a theater girly at heart. Okay, he had to drop the prop at the exact moment. Okay. Look at it, it has claws. It's really pretty. It looks so nice. It looks like the Melusine wings, honestly. There is class. It looks so nice.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I wonder how she's doing.
Oh, let's go check on her as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can safely say that we accomplished what we set out to do.
Hello, I would like to see if Monsieur Nuvolette is here. Where's Monsieur?
Did anyone see where Miss Furina went? Oh, I want to get her autograph, but I can't find her anywhere.
That's an Inazuman name. Okay, you gotta go backstage. You gotta go to stage door. Thank you, okay? Nuvolette said my child is ready. It's vision time. Right! I mean, here's the thing. We don't know exactly where visions come from. So it's either like Celestia's just like, you're dangerous. We need to keep track of you. Or Nuvolette decided to bestow her a vision.
Ah, you're back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
How did the performance go? Was it a success? Did the audience like it?
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic! Also, you're not gonna believe what happened while Furina was on the stage! You'll probably be able to read all about it in the Steambird first thing tomorrow morning!
Or she can look at the fact that she has a vision now. Like, come on.
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess I was wrong to try and tough it out to begin with.
No, don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserves recognition. Even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance. It's safe to say that you made your mark on this memorial show.
Well, one way or another, we did it. I've had bad luck ever since I was born, so I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to know that we went out on a high note. That's all that matters.
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't push yourself past your limits so much, your illness wouldn't be flaring up all the time.
Oh, don't you start. I don't have the energy to argue with you right now.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot about each other.
Oh, well, they were roommates,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean we never stop arguing with each other?
Uh-huh. And they were roommates.
So, any plans for the next step? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation of your troupe is sure to spread through Fontaine like wildfire. You won't have to disband if you don't want to. You could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little Oceanid to the bigger theater troupes out there. That would do wonders for your financial situation.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah, it's what we all agreed to.
That's fair.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space. But maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Oh. Oh.
Hey, don't just walk off!
I hope he's the one that tries to console him. Do it!
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe.
Okay.
After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation with musicals.
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but I don't know if my health will allow me to.
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll hold off until you've properly recovered as well.
Not the yes, Fontaine, the nations of rivals to lovers, bickering couples who won't admit they're couples, alright?
What about you, Miss Furina? Any future plans?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests will hound me wherever I go, until I finally acquiesce. You rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me that perhaps I'm not as averse to a return to the stage as I previously imagined.
Sometimes you just need a break, and that's fine.
Maybe Nervilette was right. Maybe Cleo is the right role for me. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah.
But I do have a desire to express myself. So, maybe the show will go on for me after all.
Oh, that's so sweet. There's no need to draw lines in the sand. Just do whatever feels right for you.
Yeah. There was once a time when I was an actress in a masquerade, seeking only to hide the truth. But from now on, I want to spend my time learning real stories about real people and how they touch the lives of others around them.
Truly a theater kid.
I want to watch them blossom and wither, see them refined on the page, retold on the stage, and remembered long into the future. I'm sure this is what captivated director O'Reilly as well.
Sounds like you're ready to stop running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
Next time I'll invite you to join me. Hey, yo, at least take her out to dinner first.
Then it's a deal. If a vision is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best to honor it.
Unless it's given by, like, other people, you know, like your boy Nouvelette or something. I don't know.
I mean, of course I have some regrets, but...
There'll be plenty of opportunities in the future for us to tell the stories that we want on stage.
Ayo, us? Ayo? Okay. Hello?
I'm just finishing packing up. As soon as I'm done, I've got an interview with the Steambird to get to. Thanks to all your help, this show was more perfect than we ever could have hoped for. But most of all, I want to thank you for giving me the chance to finally say farewell to O'Reilly.
Oh. What about you, Furina? What do you got to say?
It's ironic to think that in my whole time as a god, I could only ever dream of receiving this kind of power. And now that the gods have given me their blessing, it actually feels more like I'm finally able to take my fate in my own hands. Is that how humans feel about it as well?
I love her characterization. This story, oh man. This story is so good. The story was beautiful, like especially coming from like someone who was in theater, someone who was in performing arts for one at some point. It's kind of just like sometimes you do give up on your art. Sometimes you do have to realize that maybe the stage isn't the right place for you, and maybe you just need a break. But you can always come back to it whenever you want. And just, you know, you don't have to pretend like you enjoy something when you don't. And you said, look at her story. Vision. Nouvelette does not need a vision to manipulate the elements. However, there were some things he learned only after regaining his complete form. Severely wounded in the Great War of Vengeance, the Usurper had their functions ruined, and could no longer use their absolute authority to suppress the original order of this world. To continue to subdue and control the resentments and loathing of the world, the Usurper and the one who came after created the Gnosis together, so it came to be that the order was made to be upheld, and thus humans come only to possess these 7 remembrances, and all fragments of their primordial were driven to devour each other. From that day on, whenever a person's wishes reached the heavens, the 7 overseers of the material realm were duty-bound to grant them a gift. Though they might not know nothing of who or what wish had stepped into the threshold of the sacred, the 7 archons still had to impart a shattered shard of their mastery to that person. And when one so gifted completes their duty, the gift of the gods would receive in return would still be more abundant still. Nouvelette obeys no edict from the heavens, but he does acknowledge human will. So he too sets aside parts of himself, as unlike unto the dragon treasure hordes of old, awaiting valiant humans to come and claim them. So Father Nouvelette did give her a vision! Oh! Oh! He gave her a vision! That's so... Oh! Nouvelette vision! Nouvelette gave gave her a vision in the middle of the stage as he realized the performance. Ah!